Hi, my name is Zeineddine. I'm 18 years old. I'm a rising senior at the United Nations International School, and I live in New York City. I heard about this Hindu temple in Pakistan as I was doing a tour of the old part of Karachi. I saw a building and I saw a plaque, something that took me by surprise. So I went to investigate further and I found out that it was a small temple. The temple is called Shree Rameshwar Mahadev Temple. It is in a very, very busy part of town, very congested part of town, a lot of traffic, a lot of people, a lot of businesses, small shops, bazaars near that area. It is located opposite a mosque, which is completely overtaking the entirety of the Hindu temple height-wise. When I went there, the temple was in a state of disregard. There were bricks all over the place. It wasn't painted, no electricity, no water. The staircase was broken, no handles. There were squatters in the area. But then when you go in, you have this good first floor, but it's hidden. And then when you go upstairs in those stairs that are not maintained, rather dangerous actually. You see a second, third floor being a rooftop. Nothing is on there, just one flickering bulb. That kind of is what made me realize that we needed to do something to fix it. I actually learned that it was destroyed by a mob in response to a mosque in India actually being converted to a temple. What was once a welcoming place of worship to Hindus was destroyed in the sense that it wasn't completely gone. It was just kind of blends in with the surrounding, and it just was shown hatred towards at that time. It just wasn't that inviting of an area for Hindu worshippers to go to. So yeah, safety-wise, it wasn't an issue like that at all. It just needed to be maintained and a little bit more welcoming for Hindu families. I had to meet somebody who actually knows about Hindu religion and Hindu community within Pakistan. So we met with the head of that, great guy. He gave me a proper tour of the temple, what they wanted other floors to be in the future, but obviously due to a lack of financial means, they can't. After that, I got in touch with 5 or 6 contractors through him. We then met online over calls, and I orchestrated a group chat for us to keep in contact while I'm away.
Thank you so much for checking out my GoFundMe page. With your help, we've raised over $3,200.
And we also launched a GoFundMe campaign for this, in which I managed to gather a large sum of money to help pay this temple off. It was not just me, but it was other people who were kind enough to donate to me and make this possible. GoFundMe was my idea. Obviously, this Pakistan being cheap, but for such large projects like this, including electricity, water, utilities, etc., does take some means to undertake this. And so I managed to gather some school friends, their parents, and other people to help donate. Through the money we raised, we were able to install these and pay the workers. You know, just get the project up and running. I was managing a lot of it, like logistic-wise, and I would say that I was managing a lot of people's concerns. And when I was there on the ground in Pakistan, I would help out the workers, and I would, explain to them what still needed to be fixed, what was fine, daily run-throughs of, what was happening on site and the construction that needed to be there. A lot of organizational stuff, and then obviously reaching out to the donors for this project. So I'm really proud of that. At first, didn't really know what to say. Not because they just would not expect that, or it's just something that they're like, oh yeah, that's fine, that's cool. It's because of their donations that, this project was taken. And then as I publicized it more at school, people were very on board with it, and their parents especially. I didn't know how students were gonna think, but I knew that their parents would, support it, because some of which are Hindu. So they obviously want to preserve the religion around the world. We started giving in installments to the workers, building the temple, and made really, really good progress. I told them to work on the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor. We put electricity in the building, we put running water in the building, made it a much more welcoming space for Hindu worshippers. With that being said, there were a couple challenges building this. Complaints For example, like accidentally cutting down a tree. Not that it's the most green city in the world, or a view obstruction of people's apartments. I think that's something that apparently we had to face. Also, holidays was a big one. In that time period when this project was taking place, it was Ramadan and Eid, which are holidays where people get a lot more relaxed about work. So the holidays was a major problem. In Pakistan, I learned about the way they worship, and I learned about, their values, lifestyles that, they strive to lead, and that's something that I didn't know of, or I wasn't as familiar with at first prior to, doing this project. Hinduism is polytheistic and Islam is monotheistic. In terms of values and morals, I think they're both very spiritual religions. Inner peace is a huge part of both, especially in Hinduism. They strive to live off values that are good deeds, good karma. Pakistan's population is 2% Hindus, centered in one part of the country. Essentially, I think what this means for the Hindu community living in that area, it's very dense. They have another temple to go to. They don't need to travel as far, because we traveled 10 kilometers from that site to another Hindu temple. Very beautiful, much more developed. And so now it gives them an option that's closer. It's more accessible. And here's where it gets interesting. It's much better for kids, especially because now they've launched a summer camp for kids in that area of Hindu families, where they tell them like Ayurvedic stories, they teach them about values, games, arts and crafts, etc. And this is something that they did on their own initiative, which is something that really surprised me. So now it's not only a place of worship, but it's a place of learning about your religion, especially for younger kids. That's obviously very important regardless of the faith you follow. And bonding over 5 or 6 other students. And for a very reasonable price in Pakistan as well, 500 rupees, which is $2, gives you a week of summer camp, and it's a way to keep kids engaged with the religion, which is something that I was really like. I wish I had that same type of place to go to where I actually learned as well. I think it's important to preserve places of worship like this for expression, but also for kids, for those kids of minorities, to be able to, express their religion, to be able to have a voice, to be able to have a place of comfort, have a place of ceremony during Holi and these Hindu holidays in Pakistan, which are celebrated. A lot of fun. And then, so just a place for them to, do that and learn about their religion, and for others to meet people who are also Hindus in the area and have a community, have people that they can confide in, I think is very meaningful. I think through this restoration effort, the message I want to send to people is that there's ways for society to be more accepting about different religions. There's ways to allow people to do that. There's ways to allow people to express themselves. It's okay to, be able to have a place of worship, have a place of comfort, have a place of ceremony. And it's not just a one-off, they can keep on coming there when they please. Understand that religions can coexist without conflict, and have coexisted without conflict. In this case, can continue to thrive and continue not to be as much of an issue. That's what this project has really made me realize. Cross-generational as well. Didn't really think of family members and kids, let alone, being exposed to this. But I mean, the summer camp is so fantastic. This idea is great, and I love that they did it. I actually I didn't know that they would do more with it, more than just a place to come in and when you want worship, when you want to leave. I see it as a way for Hindus to be more expressive about their religion, and having them not to be doing it not in the space of fear, but in the space of feeling of welcomeness. It's a lot more pleasant place that you can keep returning to. I did learn about how to be more organizational. Managing other people is just a skill that I think was probably the most learned out of this. Start small. Start very, very small. Build up from there. I think starting small, places that you're able to fund, it can be your backyard in your own city, stay local. Don't try to actively seek out what needs to be, have an idea of, the issues that a country has, and then go out, see some sites, learn from people, learn from authorities, learn from your family members, start developing your organizational skills, know how to manage people. And I would say, yeah, start very small impact, because that goes a long way. And then you can try to, scale up from there. You're not gonna fail. You might not have as much of a handle on it, but you're gonna grow a lot through each project that you decide to undertake, and eventually it'll work out. You'll be proud of it.